Before the show, I want to give a quick shout out to our patron Julio. Want to thank him so much. Actually, no, dang, I shouldn't say him. Who knows? It could be a woman. Probably a guy.
And you can get a shout out like this where we mess up your gender too by giving us money on Patreon.
Yeah. Welcome to Tangent Podcast. I'm your host, Ejon, and my good friend and co-host, Jeff. How's it going?
Hey, what's up? We couldn't record yesterday because Ejon's mic broke or something. So, what's up?
I don't think they would even know.
I mean, they wouldn't, but the episode might be like a bit later than usual because we had to record, a day after we intended to.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe with the magic of editing, I'll get it done fast. But one thing remains unchanged: the government shutdown is not over. Woo! All right, baby, we have passed the 30-day mark.
Yeah, it's day like 32 by now.
We're a month in already. Long. How do you feel?
Do you remember? Listen, how I feel is, do you remember that SpongeBob episode where they make like 1,000 Krabby Patties and it's Mr. Krabs going, day 16!
Day 23!
and all that sort of shit. That's how I feel right now.
Oh my god, it's so weird, man. Like, 30 days and the government is kind of shut down.
Imagine if you're a government employee, though.
Wait.
Apparently, they have not been paid since like the 28th.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Of December.
What I found out from my friend who's been following this up, since he's in political science, is that right now they're planning on reopening the government and to shut it back down again, just to pay them off because airports are going to a slow, not because they want to feel like good for the people. It's just people are not showing up to deal with the airport, so no one's getting through customs and stuff. So it's a real mess. So they're going to reopen it.
Guys, we got to open the government for like 2 fucking hours so we can pay $6 billion to all the employees so we can shut down for another 3 months.
Oh my god. Oh man, how long do you think this will last? This is like seeing PewDiePie and T-Series fight. For me, it's like, what?
Also, speaking of that, last time I checked, they were like within 50,000 subs of each other. Let me check.
Oh god, I could have sworn I saw him rebound though. Oh god.
Let me look.
Yeah, let's check.
Here's the live stream. Holy shit. PewDiePie at 82,651,000 at the time of recording.
Wow.
T-Series 82,303,000.
What's the gap?
That's around 300,000.
300? What?
300,000. That's it.
Jeez. I remember when I saw it
and
dip, but
from the things I'm seeing here, they're both still growing. But PewDiePie is growing maybe like 2 or 3 subscribers every few seconds, while T-Series is gaining like 4.
So it's just slightly above because everyone's paying attention.
So, yeah, they're climbing. Also, from what I'm looking at here, on the live stream, T-Series has. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's just votes on who you think should.
Right, but everyone's biased against PewDiePie here. But
yeah,
but still, my goodness,
yeah. So that's a never-ending struggle, just like the government shutdown. So let's get back to that topic.
Yeah,
you said that they're gonna reopen the government
for 3 weeks, if I remember correctly, to pay back everyone for the 3 weeks that were owed to them in pay, because a lot of people are like, I can't make rent. I'm probably going to be kicked out, and I can't do my job anymore. So the government's like, okay, guys, we have to stop this crap for a second just so we can pay our employees, and then we can get back to shutting the government down. I don't know.
I think we can all agree, no matter your opinions on the shutdown or why it's happening or who's at fault, like, we gotta feel sympathetic for those employees.
Okay, you know what?
That's just terrible.
The thing that when I saw this, this reminds me of 2008. This is the kind of stuff that I'm like, I do not want to work for maybe this just kicks me out automatically forever considering this, but right now at this moment, I don't feel like I would want to work for the government or for a big corp, because I feel like this kind of stuff can happen. I just can't do anything. I'm just stuck. And imagine you're just barely making by. 86% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck, and then the government decides, yeah, we're just shutting down because until we get this wall, or until we don't get this wall. And now all these people are suffering just for, politics. And I'm like, how? This is the first time in U.S. history the government has been so dysfunctional it can't even work. My goodness. And the thing is, it sucks is that we're going to revoke
I don't
these people
think that's true, that the government, the first time it's been so dysfunctional, it can't work. I mean,
okay.
pre-Civil War.
Okay, yeah, fine. But I'm saying, like,
but
in modern...
I think you could say that this has been the longest government shutdown.
It is the longest government shutdown in history, if I remember correctly. So,
for America.
For America, yeah. So that's why I'm thinking, like, my God, I don't care. It's just, like, this is so dysfunctional. I don't feel like I would ever want to be in this situation if I could help it. But I know people don't have that luxury. They just have to deal with this, and it's terrible.
Yeah, like some guy just gets a job at like the FDA, and he goes and like, you know, analyzes food like he's a restaurant like examiner or something like that.
Doing God's work
in weeks. Yeah. Oh my God, no restaurants have been examined in the past like month.
Yeah. And all the food that goes into like the drugs.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah. This is messed up. And let's not even talk about like all the other stuff. Like financial aid has been like a problem if you're like a
or like. Oh yeah, I saw what's it called? That the TSA, like so few of their members are showing up now because they're not getting paid at all. That like it's taking a way longer time to get on flights.
Yeah, that's why they had to reopen it for that flight thing I told you about. It's just and like I was remember I was watching this video from Beme News or Vice News online and about like an interview about this TSA agent who has been working for 16 years. And this is like the first time that he doesn't know if he's going to be able to come back to a home or get evicted because of the whole thing. And this, like, for him, he was going into a week for the first time going to work knowing that he won't get paid.
Jeez. I mean, why would you even show up at that point? Like, if you're not getting paid, then why show up?
Because there's an agreement made by you signing up that you will show up no matter what.
But that's just like slave labor at that point.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I mean, technically they could leave, but there's going to be penalties for them leaving a lot. And it's technically better for them in this case to keep on working than it is to just up and leave. But they don't really have a choice either way legally.
If I was them, I'd reach out to friends and family and be like, please help me.
Yeah.
I have no other avenue besides quitting my job.
Yeah, like, honestly, I mean, for the people who could, I bet they already doing something like that. But the people who can are just, like, living by themselves. Just, ugh.
Get those food stamps or something like that.
No, seriously. That's been, like, the common thing that's happened for the past 3 weeks. That people who are, like, TSA agents are having to go apply for food stamps for the first time in their entire lives. It's just, oh God.
Jeez.
This is the kind of stuff.
Yeah, people. Like I said, no matter your opinion on the wall or the shutdown or Trump or like anything, I think we can all agree that this has gone on for a little too long.
Yeah. Honestly, just there has to be compromises. There has to be people who are just willing to step back. But goodness, this is a mess. But let's not focus on the negative side of things, people. It's a tough 2019, but we got good things coming on your way.
2019 is gonna be a good year.
It's gonna be a good year. I can feel it in my bones. I feel like it's gonna be a rocky start, but it's gonna be a nice finish this year. I have a feeling. I could be wrong, but I don't feel like this is the time to.
Listen, people, it gets darkest right before the dawn. Okay, you gotta keep pushing.
Actually, speaking of which, okay, there's this game, and I'm sorry I'm going this tangent. I have this game that we used to play for a while. Yeah, we are called Tangent Podcast. But there's this game that I love from the App Store. I think it's the one game that, out of all the apps I've played, that takes up hours of my time. And it's not YouTube or anything like that. It's just a game. This game is called Polytopia. I love it. It's basically...
I love that game. You showed it to me once on a bus.
Yes, and it's... Okay, so the premise is like, if you are anywhere familiar with turn-based strategy games like Civ 5 or Total War, this is like a minified version of it that's really good and is polygon-based. But the reason I love it...
More like Civ than Total War, but yeah.
Yeah, it really is more like Civ. But the reason I like it is that, okay, just the reason why I felt like I wanted to talk about this is because I wanted to go to, like, recently. I was in a really tight bind. I decided to go on hard mode with 4 nations in a...
Why would you do that?
Because there's 4 modes. There's easy, normal, hard mode, and then impossible, very hard mode. And I want to go for hard because I want to challenge myself with a lot more enemies, because the max they give you is 5 that I had. So the thing is that I was stuck as the Asian tribe of the game, and the thing is we were put at the corner of the map on a small, not like an island, but we're connected like a peninsula. So there's only, you know, one way for the enemy to come in. But that said, India, or like whoever was wearing the turbans at that point, they were dominating the world, and they had like 60% world domination. Rome was on an island just chilling out and watching me get my ass beat because I was just crying and just
drinking margaritas.
Yes, they were just sipping margaritas and taking shots at my archers for fun. Just as they see India trying to crush me in my tiny island, and I'm having my defenders like, please boys, just hang on. Because we had the mountain skill tree, like mountain climbing skill tree. So we're just like hiding behind the mountains and protecting our borders as they're beating us up. And I'm like, please boys, keep on going, keep on going. And after 40 turns, when the game says like, okay, you have not made enough to like win the game effectively, I was like, maybe I should just give up and retire. But for some reason, in my mind, I thought, no, I can't. And as I kept on going, by turn 50, they started letting up. They got a bit, you know, the AI got a bit loose. And the moment they did, I strike for their city. It was the first time I ever captured a city out of a 50-turn game. And after that, it became like a domino effect. I took one city, and I'm holding on to it with dear life. And the reason this is so important is because they use mind benders, which they basically use religion to convert your own units against you. So I had to like use religion and fight their religion with my religion, to the point where I converted almost their ships, and then I destroyed them. Oh, I don't know. The best way to describe it is like, imagine getting yourself beat up in a fight so much, and you thought that you're about to like bleed out and just like end it there, but for some reason you managed to keep up, and as they're about to punch you, you grab their fists and you go for the gut shot.
So when you were talking about your like comeback, what immediately popped into my mind was, okay, so you've been playing Persona 3,
right?
And you recently got Akihiko.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen his all out line, which is "I've been waiting for
yes,
this," that's immediately
yes!
what popped into my mind. Like you see a single chink in their defense. I've been waiting for this.
That was exactly what I feel like. Just the
NANI?! お前はもう死んでいる。
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it made me feel rewarded, because the thing is, while I was fighting them, I decided, you know what, Rome, you want to take shots at me? I took down Rome as they're sipping margaritas, and it was like, oh crap, people are attacking us.
Get the swords, boys!
And it was already too late. I sent my archers and my battleships to destroy their homeland, and I took it over just out of spite.
Wow, you sound like a real world conqueror, using religion as a weapon, exploiting the weak.
They use religion,
conquering people who did something to you hundreds of years ago.
No,
he's a real world leader, boys.
You understand? I have to imagine each turn as a decade. So for like 66 decades, I was getting my
like 600 years,
6,600 years.
All we know is war.
We were defending our life, and for the first time, we felt we had a chance at victory, and we lashed.
For 4 centuries, the 3 nations have fought. India, the f***ing Roman bastards, and us, the survivors.
It's just, every time I felt like maybe I should hold back, it's like, no, remember how they made me cry and just wish I was dying for 20 turns.
Welcome to the grim, dark future of 1226.
But yeah, after that, I got every victory except for the peaceful victory.
Well, yeah, of course.
I got World Conqueror, I got Explorer, I got Genius for getting all skill trees, I got Wealth Emperor, I got Most Religious for having a bunch of temples and crap. It was great. It made me feel like, what I learned out of this, and I hope the viewers can understand my excitement, is that even when you feel like it's the end, that it's so dark, just know if you just keep holding on to something, whether it's just spite, whether it's your religion, whether it's just in your own belief in yourself, hold on to it, and when the moment comes, just be like Akihiko and like, I've been waiting for this.
and then destroy them in like 2 punches.
This is exactly
whatever it is. Be it your like anxiety or whatever, just fucking punch it.
Just punch it out. It felt so rewarding, and I was talking to my roommate as he was talking about. It's like, wow, man, you sound like you really had a good time there. I don't know why, but I wish I could have recorded that, because this is gonna take me back.
Upload it to like a Let's Play channel. Tangent Podcast Let's Plays.
I would probably stream this on Twitch if I could, but it's
the only Polytopia streamer.
It's a good game.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're on Insane Mode of Polytopia. I'm gonna try to do the peaceful victory, because, I'm all about that peace, man. Maybe I could, spread some, like, weed to the other civilizations. We can all just, smoke some and have, like, a, peaceful time, bro. I think we're gonna win 10 minutes later. Man, the Romans aren't really cool, like, they're attacking me even though I'm giving them food.
Oh,
whatever, man.
It's even worse.
Damn fascists.
Yeah. It's even worse, man. It's like, you can't even be peaceful. There's only 2 game modes. It's either whoever gets the highest score in 30 turns, or...
That was my favorite game mode.
Or, I hate that game mode, because it's not as...
I love it so much.
It's not as rewarding as winning overwhelmingly.
It feels nice, though, to me. Like, yes, I just won because I played better than you. It's like...
You won by putting more temples, that's it.
Yes, and it feels nice. Because I'll put my archers on mountains or on coastlines and be like, no, you're not allowed to get me. I am the isolated hermit kingdom. Leave me in my 60 temples alone, please.
It's so much better if you have an island. If you have an island, it's like the best, because the only thing you need to do is just get a navy, and if you want to do that, just go for like a full battleship navy island. You don't have to do anything, just improve your land.
Like giants.
Yeah, just perfect victory. It's not even fair. The only way it's like you get the highest scores, I guess. I don't even know how the people get like 100,000 points.
Cheating.
I don't know, but it's like, it must be cheating, or they're just something I don't know, but it's amazing.
Well, moving on from this, we wanted
big tangent, but that was fun.
Yeah, we wanted to talk a bit about the Fyre Festival.
Yes.
Which, because the new information, I'll go over the old information that I know about.
From Internet Historian.
So, Fyre Festival, I don't remember exactly when it happened. Quick Google search. I think it was 2015, 2016.
Yeah, 2016, I believe. Yeah, it was Fyre Festival 2016.
Oh wait, no, it was 2017.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Really?
Yeah, it was really close. It was not that far away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, Fyre Festival was a thing in 2017, set up by a guy in New York. He had,
sociopath.
I don't remember his name. Yeah, but he is a pretty big prick.
Mm.
But a bunch of people were supposed to come there, like Kendall Jenner,
a bunch of Instagram models,
famous people, that my parents would know about.
And the guy, I just want to make this clear to the viewers. The guy's name is Billy McFarlane. If you ever hear that name in your life, run away. And
yeah, and he made it with this rapper Ja Rule. But apparently, he had less influence on it than Billy McFarlane, who's the one who made the actual thing.
Yeah, he was basically like an investor that was like supposed to get like a large share of the profits if it were to go big.
Yeah, I'm seeing here he put money into it, like like $1 million, I think, around there.
Right.
What's it called? But it was basically a festival that was supposed to be in the Bahamas. On
white
sandy
island. Beaches. Ooh, what Instagram models?
Yeah, like
music?
like those beautiful beaches, like all these important people.
Yeah.
There'd be concerts by all these bands and all that sort of thing. And I believe tickets started at like $500, which included room, board, and travel expenses, which is a very good thing for spending. I think it was 3 or 4 days there.
Yeah, because they said the ticket price was like around like $10,000s, but for some people it's only like 5,000 or a couple
if
thousand.
you bought it like really early and just bought the like regular version,
Right.
Because there was the like super elite version that was $10,000, and
Right.
most people spent like $500, which is pretty good for something with that advertised. You know?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you get your own private cabana, you get white sandy beaches, and it was promoted as ex-Pablo Escobar's island until he was kicked out of it for calling it Pablo Escobar's island, because there was a specific agreement that said you cannot call it owned by Pablo Escobar. You can't say that. So,
yeah. What's it called? And a ton of people decide to go there.
you know,
And it's believed to be around at least 400 is minimum, maybe around 500 to 600 at max. Is believed to have gone, but more people bought, but a lot of people pulled out at the last minute because they heard what it was. So they were, the advertisement was all about, you know, it's this big beach with these luxury villas, gourmet meals, and all this sort of stuff.
yeah, and I'm going to put this in the
and-
show notes just so people can understand like why people are so hyped up, because it's amazing.
And when people got there, you know, they took their flight and they took the bus from the airport they showed up there from their bus, and they roll up. They're expecting to see these luxury villas, and they see some white temporary tents. And it starts to set in.
And not even that. It's like, these are tents that were, you know, made for ex-hurricane, you know, shelters. This was meant to be like reserve tents. In that moment, people would realize they weren't in for what they came here for.
Yeah, and they go in and everyone's like, what the hell is this? This is not what we paid for. And the staff there, they're just trying their best to be like, okay, please, like, it'll be okay. Here's some, like, free, like, alcohol, so you just stop whining. But it was so hot, and people, the tents weren't assigned. It was just tents. So apparently there was a lot of theft, because people would go into a tent and claim it, and then leave their stuff in there. Somebody else would come in and just take the stuff, you know, because there were no locks. It's a tent.
Right.
So there was a lot of uproar about that. People trying to figure out what the hell was going on, trying to call like embassies and such to be like, you have to help us. This isn't what we asked for. And more time passes, and apparently what the organizers decided to do to try to prevent more lawsuits was they took everyone who was still there, and because there was no way out. I mean, the only way was the airport, which was far away, but apparently there weren't any flights leaving because it was a smaller airport. They decided to take everyone to a nearby building. I believe it was some sort of like, I don't remember what the building was, but it was fairly small. But they're able to fit everyone in, but people are like laying on the ground and such. There's not enough seats or anything. And they lock the doors. And now this is in the middle of summer. Actually, it was in April. Sorry, not summer, spring. But still, this is in the Bahamas, which is still hot, very hot during that time. You know, up in the 90s in Fahrenheit and whatever that would be in Celsius. I don't know. But it was scorching, and with that many people in there, that's even more body heat. So people start, like some people
passing
faint.
out.
It's bad, and they start to reach out to embassies and stuff like that, and stuff like that gets done. The only place that they could have gone was a nearby resort. I think it was a Sandals resort, but because this was prime time for vacations, they had no open rooms. So even if you had a ton of money on you, there's nothing you could do. But even then, people wouldn't have really had money, because one thing the Fyre Festival was selling was, oh, you don't need to bring money with you because food is already paid for and your lodgings and all that. But you can spend extra money when you buy your ticket to get these things called fire coins.
Fire bands,
and this special, like, well, it's fire bands, but they have like coin systems on them.
Right.
It's this like it's this band you wear on your wrist that you would swipe to buy extra things, like say you want a snack, or you know, if you want some merchandise, stuff like that. And they were completely useless. You couldn't buy anything with them. So nobody really had that much cash on them anyways. So eventually more time passes and people eventually get off the island.
But not because it was easy. They were chained up.
Yeah. And like eventually the U.S. embassy like steps in and says, okay, this is bad. Let's get people out of here. And they get them on a flight back to the U.S. and apparently, I don't know if refunds were issued, but I don't believe they were because the guy who ran it, I believe he was arrested.
No, it's even worse, and I have to take over.
That's where my information ends.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So this is even worse than what Jeff is even saying, because it's not even that it was a poorly made event. It was straight out fraud from the beginning. And to get an idea, Fyre Festival wasn't just a festival made to have all the Instagram models and have people dancing, having a good time, getting beard bongs, everything's having a good time like in the next Coachella or but it was meant to be a promotion for their new app called Fyre, which is basically kind of like a social platform meet like social like a credit system. It was meant to be like something to promote an app. So they thought a festival would be like a good way to get people hyped up on it. And in the Fyre Festival, they hired like these sexy, Instagram models. Kendall Jenner was there, and everyone was like promoting it. And it was so big on Instagram because this is like, and I remember listening to, and I guess I'm kind of taking this a bit from the Castle Super Beast podcast, how this was basically meant to be a storm for social media because it was promoted by Instagram by a professional brand team that Billy McFarland hired specifically for this. These were like one of the top brand promoters of of New York, and some would say even the world. So he got there on the paycheck. He was like, look, I just need you guys to promote it so that way they will love it. And they don't know anything was going on, but they said, okay, sure. When's the date? It's like, we're going to have it on this date. All right. So there's two different teams. There's the people on Billy's team that are actually building the event, and there's the promoters. So the promoters are promoting this video, and it's like, oh, look at the white sandy beaches and everything like that. And everyone's so hyped up. But the thing is, though, is that most of the whole thing that you saw there on that video was all that Fyre Festival was going to ever be. Not the actual, like, them partying, but just that moment of Billy partying was all a Fyre Festival. It was all a fraud from the beginning. Because of all this hype, people are like, yeah, let's get my money in this so we can get that money, that's going to be rolling in that. Everyone loves it. And Billy had his, multiple advisors, and one of them was his gay best friend that's been working with him for the longest. And as they're going through this, Billy has like these, architects and people trying to work it out. And they're like, okay, so how do you want us to do this? This island seems a bit too small. Like, we can't fit all the people that want to sign up on this festival. It's like, don't worry, just figure it out. And once they get, it had the promotion of the video saying this was formerly on Pablo Escobar's island, they got kicked out of the island. So they couldn't even use the island that he paid for. And after that, they had to go to the Sandals Beach Resort that was half made for, Sandals Beach people in the Bahamas that were totally sold out. So at the same time, it's like, okay, well, now we have to use this small section of land in, Sandals Resort, or like next to Sandals Resort in the Bahamas. So we need to, find people to build it. We need to redesign our whole new plans. And as the architect looking at this, like, dude, this land's not going to work. We're going to need some time. It's like, how much time do we have? It's like, oh, we only have 45 days. I'm like, 45 days? 45 days.
You need a lot more money to get that done in time.
Not even money. You just need time. There was no time. And there was no communication. Everything was going off in Billy's head. And the thing about him is that people said he had this magnetic personality that when you looked at him, he said, like, look, everything's going to be great. He sold the vision so well that even the people closest to him just absolutely believed him. And his gay best friend advisor was like one of the people that helped get funding and was doing such like, even when his brain was racking, he was like, I trust Billy. I trust his vision. He would never let me down. Sure, he's been in some tough things before, but I know he can do it. If this guy is either crazy or he's a mad genius and we're going to witness the next, Coachella. So as this is going on, the Bahamian government is bringing in like workers to come in and help build the festival, and there's not enough time. These people are working like round the clock, like nearly 24-hour shifts, and they're all just waiting for that money. Like, hey, where's my money? Where's my money? And one of the organizers from the Bahamian people are like, okay, look, we don't have the money, but Billy said it's going to happen. He's got a lot of investors, so I know it's going to happen. And it was found out at the end of the movie that she had actually took her own savings to have to pay the people $50,000 of savings just to keep them going. Think about that.
Jeez.
A woman's savings from the Bahamas. That was all she had, just because she believed that Billy would pay her back no matter what. So as this is going on, the days become numbered. Is now 30 days. Then it becomes 20 days. And people don't know what to do. This is still not even built up. The villas, the cabanas, and the hotels that they're planning on building, it was nowhere close to even getting close to what they promised. And people were like so worried, like, okay, how are we going to get this together? We don't even have time, Billy. And it was like, just trust me on this. I'm calling people. Sorry, just give me a second. And as they're just going along with it, the people in the media team are like, hey, what's going on? People are asking questions. And Billy's like, okay, just tell them to like leave it alone. Just tell them to buy these bands so that way, you know, we can get more money. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know what to tell the grandma or the young person that has spent like, you know, 500 or $5,000 on this festival for us to go, what to say to them about like where to get their tickets or where to go and set up for the festival, what I should bring. So people are being left in the dark, and all of this is just dependent on the black box that Billy has it right. And there was only a week left. The water's not even there. Food is just the sandwiches that are coming in, and there's not even any light. The festival has like, you know, Major Lazer and all these people coming in. They're saying like, you know what? I don't really know. They said they're going to have our money, but they didn't say anything. So they started backing out. A bunch of the bands that people came to see left. And by the time the festival happened, there was no band members coming in. There was barely any water coming in. Everything was becoming a disaster. And even though it was everything was falling apart, Billy told his gay friend, like, look, man, we need money to get this water. Otherwise, we're not going to survive. So I'm going to need you to do me a favor. I need you. You're gay, right? Yeah. I need you to go to the man who has the water and tell him that we don't have the money. I need you to get on your knees and suck his dick. And he looks at him. The friend has been with, like, are you serious? It's like, look, man, I need you to take one for the team. You can do that, right? And he just stares in just bewilderment. Oof. And as he's looking at him, he's like, I'm gonna go. He goes to his house, to his little villa, small place that he had, gets some mouthwash, washes his face, takes a shower, puts some mint in his mouth. He's ready to suck some dick. And as he's walking into the office of the guy and telling him that he's so sorry he doesn't have the money, he's ready to just get on his knees. But the moment he's about to, the guy realizes what's gonna happen. It's like, look, man, look. I trust you'll give me the money. You don't have to do that for me. And the man just goes out and he just cries outside. They realize that he was willing to suck dick that moment. And they get the money, they get the water just to barely keep the thing afloat. They're in so much, you know, trouble. And by the time everyone starts coming in, it's just mayhem. It's Lord of Flies. And it's so bad because people in the media, like Conan O'Brien, were just making shows like, why should I feel bad about these rich kids? You know, look at them with their $5,000 coming for a concert festival, and you want me to feel bad? Like, there's a small part of us that make me feel like, you know, I'm kind of glad that the rich kid who's coming in there with like 10 grand is getting screwed over because, you know, like, you know, kind of Schadenfreude, you know, that little German concept. Mm-hmm. And I understand that, but then I think there's so many of these people, like what we said earlier, that only bought it for like $500. And as we're going to this, everyone's familiar how Billy gets, you know, arrested and is charged with fraud, and he's let out on bail. But here's what the new thing happened during this time in the story that came up until now. And it's found out that the people who were doing the branding, as this happened, Ja Rule was like, come on, guys, look, it's not fraud, it's just false advertising. And they're like, we trusted you, we're not getting paid, aren't we? That woman is not getting paid. The workers who built that, you know, for hours and days are not getting paid. No one's getting a refund. Everyone's just losing money. Everyone's in chaos. All that savings and time that people put into it is all gone. And as this is happening, and Billy's on bail, he goes and like talks to his friend who's like at his house, like, hey guys, I need you to come to my place. And you would think that Billy would sell all his assets, but nope, he's in this nice, you know, nice luxury hotel. And he's like, hey man, what's it like in jail? It's like, cause like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, you know, you're on the inside. It's like, oh well, it's not fun, man. Like, there's just 23 hours of you being in the cell, 1 hour of you getting out, and it's like, I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. He's just like, I don't know if he's just believed it, but it's that kind of same mentality. Like, you believe in Billy that he has like a plan somehow. But there's also a part of him that makes him think that he had such a cognitive dissonance that he doesn't even imagine what it'd be like. So as this is happening, Billy decides to go ahead on another scheme and starts frauding people that, you know, invested in him, or the people who had actually went to Fyre Festival and saying like, hey, we're sorry about this event. We're having a new event. Since you were a former Fyre Festival attendee, we're giving this to you for, you know, 75% off. If you just pay us $1,000 right now, $5,000, $2,000, and people are like giving him this money again, and he goes on another frauding spree. You think like the person who just got caught a fraud would stop, right?
You think it would have gotten through his skull?
And the thing that just it makes me pissed, and I think you people should watch the Netflix documentary because this is where I'm getting it from. But it's like the person who's such a psychopath, who's willing to just have his friends just go out and suck dick. It's like, no, you should go out there and get on your knees and suck dick. If you're gonna tell your friends to do that, he's just it's so like mind bending. But the best way for me to explain is like, this could not have happened anytime, you know, in any other point in history. This is something that's really reflective, like, you know, the experience kind of culture, where, you know, like, you know, fear of missing out, because you don't want to miss out on the next big thing. And because of it became so perverted and twisted to what we came to be Fyre Festival. And great documentary on Netflix. Netflix has been putting out some bangers lately, and I've been like so involved and engrossed in it. I could talk more about it, but I think I should leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know all that about Fyre Festival, but I went to the Wikipedia page on Billy McFarland, and apparently, while he was on bail, he decided to sell fraudulent tickets to the Meta Gala Burning Man in Coachella.
Exactly.
And was then promptly put back into jail without bail.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
For the next 6 years in federal prison.
But you know what's weird? This guy was actually born... This guy was born in 91, so he's not that older than me. And I'm like, God.
That's only 8 years before me.
Yeah.
Well, and you.
Yeah, so I'm like, this guy's like, shoot, this psychopath is not even so far away from me. It's terrible. And you know what's funny? He's only getting 6 years of imprisonment. And he has to pay $26 million in restitution. He doesn't have the money, but the only way he's going to get it back is like, you know, through scamming people again. But honestly, I don't know. This guy should just not be able to come back out for like a decade or more.
At least a decade.
Yeah, but 6 years? Goodness, it's nothing. But Netflix has been putting out some other bangers, and I kind of want to just put this one other thing that I want to talk about. Right now, there's another Netflix feature that I love, called Bandersnatch. And that was the thing I wanted to talk about in this tangent. And if you haven't heard about it already, it's been around for a month. Bandersnatch is like...
I have not heard of it.
So the best way to describe Bandersnatch is, if you're anywhere familiar with Telltale's games like The Walking Dead, where you have a lot of choice in how you build the story, Bandersnatch is a unique feature. And I don't want to spoil a lot because there's some couple main endings that are spoilers that I don't want to like go into detail. But you basically play as a young programmer who's building, you know, video games, but he loves this novel called Bandersnatch that has multiple endings, that chooses to have like, you know, secret agents if you go down one path, or, you know, monsters on another. And it's a really interesting book. So he thought, I want this to be the passion project. And as he decides to, you know, as you go through his journey, you get to see like all the multiple options, whether it's just like picking a cereal, or for taking your pills, or even something dire, having people die. And it's such a great you know, feature, because it's not just a movie, it's your own movie. There's multiple endings, and I love it because with Bandersnatch, you get to decide the adventure, and it's very meta and referential to what it is. I think it's a great title, because it's probably one of the first of its kind I've seen in recent years, where the actual, user gets to decide the ending and the choices.
So it's like those old games that were popular in the 90s and early 2000s. Those, what are they called? Those like AMV games,
right?
You know what I'm talking about. Those like live action games where it's not really a game. You just kind of choose what the person does,
right?
Like I remember one that came out recently is like you're this like guy in Britain, and you work at this like underground car lot for this hotel. And it leads into this whole plot where you're like robbing a bank, depending on the situations you make, because this one woman like blackmails you and doing stuff.
Right.
Like it was pretty. I don't remember what it was called, but there were like 6 different endings and stuff like that. So
yeah, this is like,
it seems like that. Yeah.
The thing is, like, the thing that makes it so amazing is that it's on Netflix, which is such a big platform that it's it's a media platform. So having it on Netflix is like, it opens, I think, a lot of people's minds of what entertainment can be. And I'm so, like, grateful this exists, because what I really hope is that because of Bandersnatch, more titles like this will become profitable in the platform, because I bet it took, like, years, because you have to do so much more work than to just, make a normal series.
Record a linear episode.
Yeah. This is, like, multiple series and multiple episodes that could go on. Like, the movie itself could be, a whole season of Black Mirror if you wanted to. It's really good, and I think if you
I've never watched Black Mirror myself, but that's me.
I think that if you're the person that likes, if you're a person that has ever watched or heard of someone talk about the Twilight Zone and like, cyberpunk, or not even cyberpunk, but just like technology, and like interested in how the ways like AI and relationships are going nowadays, I think it's a must watch. 10 out of 10, or it's just a 5 out of 5. It's just awesome. I think you need to do it.
I've heard that the first 2 seasons are better than the other ones by a large margin.
Certain episodes, yes.
That's all I've heard.
But some episodes in the later seasons are actually way better.
Yeah, because I remember I saw a video on YouTube about it, about how like they complained that the later seasons just feel like people saying that all tech is bad and stuff like that. And
I mean,
I don't know.
Technically, because the thing is, it takes a really like, depressing look on it. And I understand why people feel that it's like kind of recycling the same thing. But, Black Mirror has its own, aesthetic. I understand people might want like more variety out of it. But I think Black Mirror is trying to say is like, look, we want to focus on what could be the dark side of technology. They kind of define their theme right there. So, although people say,
I mean, everything's got a dark side.
Yeah, I mean, if people want to like complain about it, it's like, all right, fine. But there's many other titles. I just think that Black Mirror kind of says, look, we want to focus on the dark side of technology. That's it. Well,
that's for them to decide,
Yeah. But I think that regardless, if you have a Netflix account, please make, like, if you can spend 2 hours of your weekend, do it.
No, you should spend 2 hours of your weekend watching JoJo instead.
Or
way better.
You just spend 2 hours of your weekend listening to Tangent Podcasts instead.
That's the best option.
That's the best one.
Although JoJo is a very close second for me.
Yeah. Hey, since we're talking about anime, we wanted to do a little bit of around, because we've been kind of like, we've been repressing ourselves for so long.
Just like I talked about Persona 3 for like 10 seconds earlier, before I said that, I was like, should I talk about this? I mean, like, it feels like it feels like I talk about that a lot, and it feels like we talk about anime a lot, but I don't think we've done it in a few episodes.
So we only lightly mentioned it, but now we're gonna let it out a little bit, okay? Gonna let it out just a little bit. So, I think you wanted to talk a little bit about no, not Metro 2033, but you wanted to talk about
later.
Danganronpa, which you're almost about to finish right now.
Yes. Well, that's not really an anime; it's more of a game.
It's on animation, but
there's a difference there. Yeah, but what's it called? Yeah, before we started this, I was on the last trial of the game, which sucks because I had to pause midway to come record the Ejon. I thought if I had 30 more minutes, I could finish it, but the trial keeps going. The game's pretty fun. It's a sort of murder mystery type of game. It's you and 16 other people trapped in this high school, and the only way to get out is for one person to kill another, or two people. It's a two kill is the most that you can do without being killed by the guy who's running this, which is a talking bear. It's a robotic bear, not a living bear.
Yeah, I think his name is Monokuma.
Monokuma. No, it's it might be that in Japanese, but it's Monokuma.
Right.
What's it called? And he's running all of it. And like I said, the only way to get out is if you kill another person and get away with it. Which, when a body is found, which is when at least 3 people see it, a class trial starts a little while after everyone does some investigating, and you have to choose which one of you out of the 15 there did the killing, and whoever it was, if you get it right, then only that person gets killed. But if you do it wrong, then everyone but the person who killed someone is then killed.
So it's either clean murder or you get caught.
Yeah, and if you get away with it, then everyone else gets killed, but you get to leave. But if you get caught, then you get killed, in usually a pretty graphic way.
Yeah.
Like the first one, spoilers for Danganronpa 1, the first murder is this guy Leon kills this girl, Sayaka.
Right.
Now, it was in self-defense, really, because Sayaka was intending to kill him, but he was able to push her back and kill her instead. What's it called? And the trial goes on, you find a bunch of evidence, like you find her dying message that she wrote with her blood, you find the stab wounds and all that sort of stuff. And you go through the trial and you eventually figure out that it was Leon. Mm-hmm. Now, every person in this game has a ultimate ability. So, for example, Sayaka was the ultimate pop star, while Leon was the ultimate baseball player, and the main character is the ultimate lucky student. There's things like the ultimate martial artist,
ultimate detective,
swimmer, and the ultimate clairvoyant and stuff like that. Because Leon was the ultimate baseball player, Monokuma, because they figure out that that's Leon, he sets up a special execution because they choose him, saying that he's the killer, mm-hmm. and they were correct. So he gets to go get executed by having hundreds of baseballs shot at him while he's tied to a post.
Now,
and just get slowly killed that way.
Slowly pelted to death. And though I'll tell you this, it's not as graphic. I mean, it is graphic, but they stylized the blood, and where instead of being
the blood is bright pink, and they don't show you mangled bodies and such. It's just a lot more stylized, so it's not as graphic. But even then, in the second execution, I'm not going to say who it is because I've already spoiled the first case,
right.
But I was sad about this one.
Oh, yes!
I actually liked the character a lot.
We can't talk about it, but that one made me sad. So.
No, but he was such a good character.
Yeah.
What's it called? He was a biker, is all I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. And Monokuma puts him on a bike. He straps him to it and puts him in this metal cage, kind of like a hamster ball, and starts the engine and spins it so fast that that gravity and the G-forces basically start congealing him down, and he puts him through this machine after that and makes him into butter. It was pretty messed up. Or one of the later trials, there's this girl who wears she's the killer in this case. She wears this, sort of gothic, dark clothing, and she says that she wants to live in a castle and such. Mm-hmm. So her execution was he sets up this fake castle setting, and she's being burned as a witch. And it starts burning and all that, but right as it's starting to burn her legs and stuff, he drives a fire truck into her and just crushes her. So, this sounds really graphic and disturbing,
but it's
also stylized.
It's really cartoony.
Yeah, it's oh my god, that was horrible.
Yeah,
but it's not you'll throw up.
It's kind of like okay, imagine if you've seen Tom and Jerry, how they kill each other, or how they try to beat each other up. Well, imagine if they actually died. If it happened. The colors are bright pink and colory, so that way you don't think it's blood. But it's the same kind of way that Tom and Jerry would try to kill each other.
Yeah, just a bit more bit more realistic.
Sometimes, but it's still like it's the kind of stuff that's like, yeah, this would be a really good Tom and Jerry cartoon skit. It makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if Tom and Jerry ever tried to, burn each other at the stake.
Oh, you know what?
I might have just missed an episode.
Remember that Tom and Jerry spin-off in The Simpsons? They always reference? I forget it.
I never watched The Simpsons.
You have never watched The Simpsons? Okay, well...
Okay, listen, I've seen like an episode or two.
Alright, fine.
Like 3 episodes. And that's
it's, I think it's...
But I haven't ever
Itchy and Scratchy. Itchy and Scratchy. It's like how they do Itchy and Scratchy.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I always think about. But yeah, it's really bad. But
it's good because I really enjoy, going through the investigation and figuring out, like, who done it and stuff like that. So, but the bad thing is that you don't know when your favorite character is going to die.
Yeah.
Like in between cases, you can spend time with any of the characters and get to know them better, just hang out with them, maybe give them like a gift if you're feeling generous. And then, like 20 minutes later, you can be sending them to their death or when you get the announcement that a body has been found, you rush over the scene. You're just like, please don't be that one person that I really enjoy being around.
Yes,
it's bad sometimes, especially like one dead giveaway is when a character starts getting a lot of like character development for no reason.
Yes,
and you're like,
oh
god,
he's either the killer or he's gonna die.
They're gonna die.
Oh gosh. It's always the one who gets it's always the one that you want to see them succeed in life, but then they
And listen, and the ones who live the longest are the ones that you want to see die most.
Yes, but hey, at least their executions are more satisfying,
Yeah. Like for example, the one I mentioned that gets burned, I wanted to see her die early.
Yeah,
she was just mean.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? She got
and she took out one of my favorite characters too.
So it
was which was the guy who got angry after his friend was killed in the previous one. If you're wondering who I'm talking about,
I know what you were talking about. But we're gonna keep it at that.
I'll monitor SpongeBob.
Yeah,
is my nickname for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at that. But
yeah, but moving on.
It's a up. No, actually,
what else have I watched? What did I talk about last time I talked about anime? I don't remember.
You're talking about. I know you said you just saw Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
That's a good show. Listen, it looks weird from the outside, but it's funny. It's pretty wholesome, and it's just nice after watching a bunch of action shows because it's just like
it chills you out.
This is just it's just like this is a bunch of people living their lives and having fun. And they're dragons, and they have, like, magic powers sometimes, but that's fine because it's funny.
It's anime Dragon Tales.
I mean, basically.
But there's no abuelo dragon. Oh, God.
But one show that I watched just recently that I really enjoyed, and I only watched it because I did it, like, on a whim.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through the site that I find anime on, and I saw it, I'm like, what the hell is that? I click on it, and I read the description, and it's like, oh, this sounds pretty cool. So the anime is Spice and Wolf.
Ah, yes.
And it's basically this anime about, it's like Middle Ages, probably, if I had to guess, probably around like maybe 1200s. Mm-hmm. And if I had to guess a location, maybe around like Poland, because there are, like pagans to the north, which could be the Lithuanians or like the Baltic peoples who stayed pagan till around the 1300s.
Right.
But it's and like they're Christian. You could definitely tell that it's like a Western type country.
Actually,
so I would say probably around on Poland or something, or like Eastern European, I should say.
Actually, I would say the best thing is, okay, here's the thing: if you like anime, but you also like economics,
I was getting to that because the main character is a trader, not like a trader as in like someone who betrays someone, but like a person who trades goods. And the show starts with him. He just came from a town to the north and bought a bunch of wheat, going to a town to the south to sell it. And it's like this cold resistant wheat, this like really special kind. And he's going through this village, and they have a annual harvest festival. Mm-hmm. that's been going on for like hundreds of years, where whoever cuts the last piece of wheat becomes the incarnation of that local harvest god who is named Holo, who is this like wolf deity.
Right.
And he goes through a town, meets some like friends he has there, just like business like acquaintances, and then he goes outside town to camp with his horse and his cart before moving on. And he talks about how he wants to go and sell at a higher price down south because they have a better type of coin that has more silver in it and that sort of thing. And then he wakes up and finds that there's a girl sleeping in the back of his cart, and he's like, what the hell are you doing here?
Wait.
Why are you in my cart? And he goes over and figures out that she is that wolf deity. And she has like ears like wolf ears and such, but she still looks like a normal human otherwise. And a bunch of stuff ensues, and they end up traveling together. I don't want to spoil the whole first episode. It's good.
It's great.
But the reason I like the show is because I like the dynamic between Lawrence and Holo. I think they're a very good pairing. They work well off each other. But also because of the like economics and trading that happens. Like, there's not really much fighting in this show. I think there's maybe two fights.
Yeah, there's only 2 fights I remember.
And both are resolved by Holo turning into her wolf form and running after people, and they scream and run away because there's a giant wolf chasing them.
Yeah, and I think, like, okay, I think if you watch this, you should either come in here with the expectation that you want to chill out and maybe learn a little bit about, like, economics or, like, business trading, just for, like, casual, just for fun. But because it's not, like, you shouldn't go in there expecting, like, oh, I'm going to have, like, an action fest, because sometimes it's, like, unless you pay attention, you're going to be kind of...
You go episodes at a time without any, like, action happening.
Like, sometimes you might just, like, you might doze in and out of an episode just to realize that, they were just talking about economics for, like, 10 minutes, which is not bad.
Yeah, like for example, like, some of my favorite episodes is, what's it called? I believe it's in season 1.
Right.
Lawrence got too greedy in the previous town, and he bought all this armor and weapons to go to a northern town because apparently they're going to have a expedition to go into the pagan lands and have a like mini war, like skirmish up there. And he goes up there buying all these goods that he's bought, thinking he's going to earn a killing. But when he gets there, he figures out that the church had canceled the expedition. And it's him going around trying to
sell all that
get
armor,
money to live and like pay back the loans he took out to get all this money. And it's him going from door to door, banging, getting thrown out, and water poured on him because he won't leave because he has to earn, I believe it's like 46 gold coins, which is
pretty. If
I'd equate it into modern money, that's probably at least like $100,000 in like 2 days.
Yeah, it's impossible.
And he's just a traveling merchant. And it's him going around just trying to figure this out. And eventually they figure out this scheme where they can, with a shepherd that he knows, they can smuggle money from a nearby pagan town. This because the church of the town they're in doesn't allow foreign gold to come in. But they smuggle the money like on the sheeps from this neighboring town into the one that they're currently in to pay off his debts. And that's the big thing of like, can we smuggle the money and can he pay back his debts in time, or he'll be kicked out of his trade league and basically he'll be set back to square one of being a merchant that he's been for like 10 years now. And that was intriguing to me. It's like, ooh, he's gonna get kicked out of his trade league.
He's gonna
have to start back as some basic peddler.
Yeah.
While in other animes, it'd be like, we have to harness the power of friendship to take down the giant demon who's gonna turn the world into stones or something like that.
Or even worse.
Or here it's like, oh, he's got to pay back his student loans.
Yeah, no. Actually,
something like that.
You know what would be even worse is like the thing I'm glad that they did is like actually make it solve. He has to solve it like a real person, not like magical cop out. Like, hey, Hollow, can I just go to like the spirit world and ask for some money through a quest or something? No, his like.
I mean, she like actively hurts his quest though, because one of the final places he goes to is one of his like old friends, and he comes up to the door, knocks, and his old friend's like, oh, hey, Lawrence, what's up? And he's like, I need money, blah, blah, blah. I've got this debt. He's like, well, I told you that I would always help you in your time of need. but I can see that you must really not be in your time of need because you've got a woman following you around. And then he slams the door on him because, as a traveling peddler, you don't have time or money to have a woman around with you. That'd be more if you've settled down and made a shop or you're a farmer or something like that. And so she actively hurt his plans to get money. And that just builds into the dynamic of those two because he ends up yelling at her to just go away, and that causes more problems. And listen, it's entertaining.
It's an entertaining show.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
But there will never be a season 3.
As much as we want it. Because the community has been asking for years now, and there's never been any word.
Not
it's
coming.
just radio silence.
So I'm just going to go read the manga and finish it because I want to know the ending.
Well, hey, I'm glad that a show finally pushed you to read the manga. I'm happy to hear that.
I'm probably going to read the JoJo manga soon enough because the dub is taking too long. And I want to know what happens in part 6 and 7.
Yeah, you probably should. It's the manga is going to be much better for you to go through. Once you get hang of reading manga the Japanese way, it's pretty
right to left.
Yeah. Once you figure that out, it's pretty much easy. It's you can speed through that way faster than you can ever go through an anime, but you do miss out on some key parts, like the torture dance. Nowhere as close to the anime version.
You cut out. What'd you say?
The torture dance, nowhere close to the anime version.
But that's just much better in a I was gonna say visual medium, but in a moving medium, I should say, because you can only do so much on a limited space page. One thing I'm looking forward to is that I know in the JoJo Part 5 manga there were 7 pages of just the main character punching a guy for 7 pages, saying "muda muda," which in English means useless.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I hope that is a scene in the anime that goes on for at least about 5 minutes of him just punching a guy to death.
I think it's gonna cut out between him punching a guy to death and cuts between one of the side characters commenting.
Just holy shit, he's going all out.
It's it's gonna be it's gonna be like the Broly movie. Which, okay, for the listeners, I know some of you guys are probably not anime fans, but look, what has happened recently is that the world has been lit on fire with
Broly.
Okay, so oh boy, Dragon Ball people are gonna be angry at you, but
I watched Dragon Ball Z on TV when I was 6 years old, and listen, all I remember is that. I think it was Frieza was the main villain.
Yep, you got it right.
And Goku, he died and then came back to life multiple times.
Yep.
And then in the end, him and Frieza fought for 3 episodes straight, and then he won. That's all I remember.
Yeah, there's a lot more, but in this one, basically, you know how Goku's backstory is pretty similar to Superman, where basically his homeworld got destroyed by Frieza. But one of the things that happened before the homeworld got destroyed is that Vegeta, Goku's frenemy rival, father, sent away a man named Bardock's son away to a distant, desolate planet because his son was going to be stronger than the prince's son. So, because of that, he sent away to this hellhole scape of a planet, and because of that, Bardock, the father, had raised Broly after he found him, by using him to fight against giant beasts, and raised him so that way he would get revenge against the Vegeta clan. It
sounds like Darkseid.
Pretty much, but when Broly comes to Earth, and because Frieza's goons picked him up, they basically say, "Hey, look, that kid right there is the son of the guy who threw you on that hellhole scape of a planet," and as Vegeta's like, "Oh, hey man, look, I don't know who you are, but if you want to mess with me, I'll mess you up." Broly comes in and just starts beating his ass up so fast, and Vegeta's like, "Goku, please." Well, he doesn't say that, but Goku's like, "Okay, Vegeta, I can't see you get beat up like this. This is looking bad." And as he
said it with his eyes.
Yeah,
he's too proud to ask for help.
Pretty much.
I remember that much.
And Goku comes in, starts fighting for Vegeta, and he realizes oh my god, this guy doesn't even have Super Saiyan powers, but he's able to do this. And the thing is, Broly just gets stronger with more rage, even though he doesn't have Super Saiyan capabilities. So They keep fighting.
And literally too angry to die.
And it gets even worse because Frieza's like, so, man, your son's pretty tough. And even though he's getting his butt kicked by Goku, I wonder how much power he really has. Like, I don't know, but I never see him go this unchained. I have to stop him. No, you don't. Frieza just kills his father. It's like, hey, Broly, guess what? Goku's laser beams in the blast actually killed your father. And then he goes ape shit. And as this is happening, Goku's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get beat up and die here. So he takes Vegeta with him, grabs him by the collar. And then after that, goes to Frieza. It's like, hey, Frieza, bye now. And as Broly is blinded by rage, he starts beating up Vegeta for a solid hour. A full hour of him getting beat up with the most strongest Saiyan probably in the world.
Did he live?
Barely. And Frieza had to go in his golden form to survive for an hour. Because
at the end, Vegeta just like crawls out of the pit, wipes his mouth, and goes, "I've still got my pride."
Well, the thing is that as Goku took Vegeta over to Piccolo, as he's just sitting on a rock, was like, "Hey, Piccolo," and Piccolo's like, "Jesus, what happened to
that like green guy?"
Yeah, the Namekian. He's just like, "What happened to you?" It's like, well, this guy is beating us up, and we need to do that fusion thing that you taught us before. It's like, oh, okay. And it's like, I don't want to fuse with you, Kakarot. I don't want to. It's like, come on, Vegeta. If we don't do this, he's gonna go crazy, and he might die. It's like, Frieza might kill him, even though he's beating up Frieza for a solid hour. It's like, all right, we have to do something. And after they tried 2 times, and they messed up the fusion dance, Frieza continually gets beat up every time they mess up. So it gets like a cut of them messing up the fusion. It's like, oh, well, we have to wait another 30 minutes before we get to try again.
They could have called one person to end that fight instantly.
Who?
Ultra Instinct Shaggy could have beat him in nanoseconds.
Hakai.
I don't know what that means.
It means death. It means or erasure.
Because you like put that under my Twitter post of Ultra Instinct Shaggy, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
There's that. Okay, wait. Shaggy, Ultra.
I got
Instinct.
it. I got it right here.
Hakai.
He shows up and just immediately destroys within seconds.
Oh, wait, where is it?
Strongest being.
Yes. Okay, so here's where I got this from. Okay. Oh my god, this is great. Wait. Here it is. This is the one I've been. I'm getting this off of the Daito Modachi's channel, where it's called the Hidden Tournament of the Power Contestant with Ultra Instinct Shaggy. It's so good. You have to watch it. I can right now.
I am. You better put this in the show notes.
It's so brilliant. Hakai. just
one strike. Oh my god, it just blew up.
It's perfect. This is why I love the Ultra Instinct Shaggy beat. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, we've been having fun talking about anime and
hope you enjoyed it, because we'll hold ourselves back. Okay, listen, while I'm at it, I should talk about Persona.
Oh yeah, but we have to talk about it now. While we get it in.
So I can't talk about it for the next 6 fucking episodes.
We're on bail.
Okay, listen. Ejon has to post a cover of Burn My Dread within the next 5 days.
Yeah, and I have not practiced enough, so really the next 5 days I have to I had to create a song or learn the chords. Otherwise, I don't know.
And I can sing it because I've been practicing.
Oh shoot. Okay. And this sucks. But okay, so you're gonna find out by this episode comes out, viewers, that either I made it and I posted on Twitter somewhere. But I want to just tell you this:
you should post it on Twitter, and as maybe a bonus episode.
There's a bonus.
I don't know.
Well, I'll just put it up there. You can see it first on Patreon, and it'll probably go up when this episode comes out. But when it first comes out, it'll be on Patreon.com/PetTangentPodcast. It's gonna be
Yeah, and then probably after that, Twitter and all the rest of the places.
all right. So, listeners, get ready. It's gonna be coming out soon. My hot new EP, my hot new song coming out there. Burn My Thread. It's gonna be interesting. Hey, you know, also if you guys have any other suggestions of a song I should try to learn to play, you go ahead, put it in.
I've got more Persona music you can play. Come to the dark side.
No, give me a JoJo song before you give me another Persona song.
Oh, okay, I'm on it.
All right. Well, everyone, this has been Tangent Podcast.
Here we go, boys. Stardust Crusaders incoming.
Oh no, that's actually gonna be fun. But yeah, this is Tangent Podcast, episode 3.
See you next time, where we burn dread, burn bread. We burn those iTunes view.
Burn the iTunes.
Come on. Yeah.
Follow us on
we
Twitter.
burn that like money counter on Patreon. Hopefully.
Support us on Patreon. Now follow us on Twitter. Thank you all for
At
listening.
T Krogan, at
Ejon Winter.
YJANG, whatever the rest of his handle is.
Wow, you can't say my full name. All right.
I don't know what your handle is. Mine is so simple. It's just T Krogan.
Mine is my full name, so I wanted to snatch it up while I had the chance.
Wow, everyone knows your full name now. Well, I'm just still Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, your name's common.
And you talk about anonymity.
There's certain anonymity that I care about more than others. Like my name, I know that's already out there, but like what I do behind my name, that should be hidden because that's my right. Anyway, this is
That's respectable. Well, thanks for coming to the Tangent Podcast. Like we said last episode, I don't know. I was thinking we should add it as like a Patreon goal if we can do that. I don't know if that's how it works, but I wanted to add we open our official Minecraft server as like a Patreon goal.
If we
like
hit,
that, so.
how many people do you think we should try to hit? Like 20 supporters on Patreon or something like that? I don't know.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, like 20.
Yeah, if we hit 20 supporters on Patreon, even if it's just $1, we will try to open a Minecraft server. Hopefully,
Listen, if 19 of you give us $1, then you can come join in on our Minecraft server.
it's gonna be dank.
It'll be good, okay? We will actually play on it, okay?
We will. I'm down for it. That's something I'll actually go ahead.
I'll be there making giant structures. Ejon will be over there making dirt huts, okay?
I'm gonna get better, okay? Oh, well. Tune in next time.
Maybe under my tutelage.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
All right, yeah.
Take
Thanks
care.
for listening. See you next time, guys. Hopefully you'll be listening to the melodious sound of my voice while I sing a great intro and Ejon's music plays in the background.
All right, 4 days.
Make sure to tune in. Share with your friends if you can. Always like more listeners. Even if you don't want to follow us on Twitter or support us on Patreon, we appreciate you listening.
All right.
So see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.